pivotal role of the CARICOM Development Fund highlighted at meeting in Barbados.
Guyana's president swears in new chair of the Guyana Elections Commission.
And CARICOM moving to strengthen food safety in the region. Welcome to this week's edition of the CARICOM News Highlights. I am Jacine Dunkley-Malcolm.
And I am Michelle Nurse. Welcome to the program.
Prime Minister of Barbados, the Honorable Mia Mottley, and Interim Chairman of the CARICOM Development Fund, CDF, Dr. Richard Brown, have acknowledged the pivotal role of the CDF in the development of the community. They were both speaking at the opening of the 8th meeting of contributors and development partners of the CDF on the 30th of June in Barbados.
The notion of the average citizen in the region being able to play that definable difference in the funding of this region's development is what must be embraced, and embraced with vigor.
We also live in a region that is faced with a number of perennial challenges and constraints, some of them structural, some natural, and others which are external to the region. These include issues such as the withdrawal of correspondent banking services and de-risking by international banks, which have a significant impact on our trade and development prospects, and to which we have been forced to adapt in order to survive. One aspect of this adaptation, which is an integral element of our long-term strategic response, is for us to strengthen our internal economic and functional cooperation ties within CARICOM. The CDF is well positioned as a treaty-based institution of the community to play a pivotal role in this regard, through the support that the fund provides to disadvantaged countries, regions, and sectors within CARICOM.
The Prime Minister also committed to honor Barbados' obligation to the CDF, even as she challenged the organization to find new ways to raise capital to help member countries fund projects.
Barbados will honor its obligations before the end of this second cycle, in spite of being in an IMF program. Because fundamentally, our future is inextricably linked to a successful CARICOM single market and single economy.
The CDF is a CARICOM institution whose mandate is to provide financial or technical assistance to disadvantaged countries, regions, and sectors in CARICOM arising from their participation in the CARICOM Single Market and Economy, the CSME. The institution is based in Barbados and is headed by Chief Executive Officer Mr. Rodinald Sumer.
The impact on the silent victims of domestic or family violence was a high point for head of the Crime and Security Program at the CARICOM Secretariat, Mr. Sherwin Toyne Stevenson. He spoke to CARICOM News Time at the end of a regional forum to refine protocols on the collection and sharing of administrative data on domestic violence.
The high point, I should say, or the most eye-opening moment, that moment when you catch yourself and you say, this is what struck me the most, was a lot of discussion this afternoon that we had that was centered around the silent victims of domestic violence. And by this I mean persons who constantly are in the environment where domestic violence itself plays out. And I'm speaking particularly to our young children, who many of us see as, just being on the side, they don't have a voice, but we don't know how much it is affecting them. I've had personal experiences, and I'm sure a lot of persons related in the room to personal having seen things that happen where, as a young person, 11, 12 years old, you feel unable to respond. Having to go through that consistently does create a situation that is very harmful in our opinion.
The forum is an activity of the Crime and Violence and Social Development component of the CARIFORUM European Union Crime and Security Program under the 10th European Development Fund. The objective of the forum was to contribute to the strengthening and harmonizing of systems and approaches for the collection, analysis, and dissemination of administrative data on gender-based violence.
We recognize in the region that in order to make informed choices that would be able to help us better implement prescriptions and policies and whatever it is that comes out of in ensuring that our region moves forward depends very heavily on data. We are as a region, I would say, now evolving in our understanding and our use of data, particularly so in terms of bringing it together in a regional platform where we can be able to make trends analysis, which would move us from a position of mainly responding to crime scenarios, but be able to predict and prescribe situations so that we move from being more reactive to a more proactive kind of society.
The capacity building initiative targeted persons in management, policy implementers, decision makers, and experts from the hotlines, shelters, hospitals, health centers, police, courts, and/or statistics officers. President David Granger swore in the first female chairperson of the Guyana Elections Commission, GECOM, on the 29th of July. He presented Justice Claudette Singh with her instruments of office at the Ministry of the Presidency.
I, Claudette Margot Cecile Singh, do hereby solemnly declare that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the people of Guyana, that I will faithfully execute the office of Chairman of the Elections Commission without fear or favor, affection or ill will, and that in the execution of the functions of that office, I will honor, uphold, and preserve the Constitution of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, and I do so swear, so help me God.
President Granger described the swearing-in as a good day for the Republic of Guyana and reiterated that Justice Singh's appointment fulfills the mandate of the Constitution of Guyana and also satisfies the recent ruling of the Caribbean Court of Justice.
The Elections Commission is not a plaything. Its independence is a condition for engendering confidence and public trust in the electoral system and for the efficient conduct of elections. I initiated a consensual process with the leader of the opposition to identify a chairman of the Elections Commission in accordance with the provisions of our Constitution and in accordance with the interpretation of the Caribbean Court of Justice. I received from the leader of the opposition a list of 6 names, not unacceptable to me, on the 26th of July. From that list, I chose Justice Claudette Singh. The appointment of Justice Claudette Singh means that the Election Commission has a chairman again after a hiatus of a little more than a month. It is now properly constituted and can continue to prepare for the conduct of free, fair, and timely elections. It fulfills the Caribbean Court of Justice's ruling in relation to Article 161(2).
And in another first, St. Vincent and the Grenadines swore in its first female Governor General, Her Excellency Susan Dugan, on the 1st of August. The retired educator said that she was extremely honored and privileged to fill the post.
I, Susan Dugan, do swear that I will well and truly serve the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines in the office of Governor General. So help me God. I thank you, Honorable Prime Minister, for your warm words and for giving me the honor of becoming the first female Governor General of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I look forward to working with the government, all members of Parliament, and our national institutions in service to the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
She succeeds Sir Frederick Ballantyne.
CARICOM is moving to strengthen food safety in the region. Food safety regulators met recently in Paramaribo, Suriname, and identified key recommendations to enhance the coordination of food safety measures among CARICOM member states. The meeting was held from the 23rd to the 25th of July 2019. It was organized by the Caribbean Agricultural Health and Food Safety Agency, CAFSA, a CARICOM institution in collaboration with the Food and Agriculture Organization and the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Husbandry and Fisheries of Suriname. Participants recommended the creation of a Caribbean task force on food safety that will formally coordinate, advise, and strengthen CAFSA's work in that area. The task force will offer advice on prioritization of food safety challenges and how to promote a common food safety agenda for the region, including an approach for harmonization of food safety standards. CAFSA will present the recommendations to the Council of Trade and Economic Development, COTED. CAFSA is headquartered in Suriname and is headed by Chief Executive Officer Mr. Simeon Collins.
Last week, we spoke about a new project to build capacity in the beekeeping industry in the Caribbean. Here's Ms. Beverly Best, Director of External and Institutional Relations at the Inter-American Institute for Cooperation on Agriculture, ICA, with more details on the project, which is being done by ICA, the government of Argentina, and 4 CARICOM member states, Barbados, Dominica, St. Kitts and Nevis, and St. Lucia.
The direct beneficiaries we see as the beekeepers, bee farmers. We also see the governments themselves. We also see the families of the beekeepers, and we see a unique opportunity. And I used that word before, but I think it's critical that I use it here for women and young persons to benefit from this project, given the capacity to train these people to get involved in an initiative such as this. And the intention is that the project will be expanded, and we'll have other countries participating after the first phase. So we're hoping that the lessons learned from this phase, some of the best practices that we would have developed, would be utilized to even improve the project in the other countries.
We take this opportunity to wish Jamaica a happy independence. Jamaica gained its independence on the 6th of August in 1962. We leave you today with a glimpse of how emancipation is observed in some of our member states.
And in Suriname, and not because I'm from Suriname, but I have observed it in our region, the community. Suriname is the only country in the Caribbean, and at least this part, where you have this type of a head tie. This is just one. A lot of starch goes in this thing.
Oh, wow.
And ironing and so on. And you will see it's tied in a certain way, and it has knots, right? There are several of these type of head dresses or head ties, if I may say so. Depending on where you have the knots, in which direction is showing, and how it's brought together, it might have several meanings.
Oh wow, I had no idea.
Yes, this dates from slavery times. You know, during slavery, men and women were not allowed to meet and so on. And even later on, you know, very conservative society, you were not free to meet your friend or your boyfriend and so on. So depending on how you would have the knots and how you would tie it, it might mean that, okay, meet me on the corner.
Oh wow.
Or meet me on the left corner.
A rendezvous of sorts.
Yes, or meet me on the right corner.
I see.
Or let them talk.
Oh wow.
You know, you're a woman, you don't care. Oh, let them talk. So that is what it would resemble.
As opposed to the English speaking Caribbean, emancipation is not observed in Haiti. But what happened? We celebrate Independence Day, which is on the January 1st. As you may be aware, there is the pumpkin soup, which recalls how during the slavery period, only the masters could drink this pumpkin soup.
Oh, wow.
So for independence, I mean, all Haitians would have pumpkin soup, just to say that, I mean, just to say that since we could not drink it around slavery, so we are free now. We can do it.
You are now up to date with the major developments in the region. For more details on these and other stories, visit the CARICOM Secretariat news site today.caricom.org or the CARICOM website at caricom.org.
Like our Facebook page, follow us on Twitter, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel.
See you next time.